Alrighty everyone, Tactical Lich here. Welcome to another stream of Wednesday Faction Wars. Today we are we're first checking out a battle between some undead and Norsca vampire counts versus versus the lesser auxiliary forces of chaos, basically. But yeah, vampire counts and Norsca. It's gonna be an interesting fight. Haven't seen this matchup in a while, and let's see what the players are gonna bring us. We might see some non-meta units here. Hayseed have been a very active player lately, and although I haven't seen what exactly he has been playing, since I don't really watch all the tournament streams, but definitely he has been active enough to leave a mark on my memory, and we shall see what Delta and Hayseed will bring to the fight. Now I will be in the next round of battle here as the winner of this match. Whoever wins between Delta versus Hayseed will be fighting against me. So it would be a very interesting opportunity for me to steal some ideas or observe the strategies of my potential opponents and think about tactics to counter them. Me personally, I will be playing as the Tomb Kings. Just gonna be another unit faction of undead. I haven't been playing the Tomb Kings a lot lately, so it's I definitely have become rusty with basically all the undead, especially Tomb Kings. But I do want to try it out again. Especially the kitty cats have received some buffs, so perhaps it will give me the advantage I need to win out a fight against either Vampire Counts or Norsca. We shall see what I'll be fighting. But for now, let's just focus on this battle between Hayseed and Delta, Vampire Counts versus Norsca. Yeah, interesting army builds from both sides for sure. I'm seeing a bunch of units that I haven't seen in a while. So yeah, let's see how it goes, while we are just waiting for both players to be ready and start the game. And yeah. But yeah, today I was a bit late in announcing and sending out a reminder for like the signups and check-ins. Normally I would drop an announcement on a few Discords about the day's Wednesday Faction Wars, but today I was busy cooking. Literally cooking, making food and making dinner. So basically what happened was I got a rather cheap sirloin steak, and I was like, alright, it's the end of the month, might as well just make a better dinner for myself. So bought the steak, and as a result I also have to figure out what to go with it. So like made some roasted potatoes. The thing about the roasted potatoes is that they aren't just roasted, they are actually doused in like fat off the steak. I trimmed off a little fat from the steak, and I was like, okay, let me just extract the oil from these fat, cook it in low heat, and then the beef's oil just get released from the trimmed fat, and then I douse the potatoes in that fat, and then throw it into the oven for roasting, and that was so good. Anyways, enough about food. Let's have a look at the army builds on both sides. For the undead, for the vampire count of Delta, a front line of zombies, second line of skeleton spears mixed in with grave guards, Königstein stalkers, and no Lizardmen. Okay, just a bunch of chaff and a couple more sturdier grave guards, plus a mortis engine. And then on top of that, corpse guard, a lot of healing stacked on top of each other. And for mobility support, well, Karn Raves is technically an infantry, but it's fast enough to be like a... Oh shit, I forgot blocker. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. There we go. Yeah, anyways, army build. Let's do it again. Forget about what we just did. That was embarrassing. Front line of zombies, second line of slightly more elite grave guards, and then Königstein stalkers and skeleton spears. Mobility, a couple hex raves hiding in the forest. And yeah, that's it for the main army of vampire counts. Oh, and of course the single entities mortis engine and an unholy lodestone corpse guard. A lot of passive heals for surrounding units. I feel like things are kind of weird for the Königstein stalkers. They look like they're like ethereal with the glow, but they're not actually ethereal. So I don't even know. Like, they're just poisonous, despite having that magical glow. Anyways, in the skies leading the army, a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord with Heart Piercing, Helm of Discord, Sword of Anti-Heroes, all that good stuff. Very Stead and Invocation of the Hack for a spell kit. On the other side, the Norscans are boxing up hard. A front line of Marauders and Marauder Champions. Only one Marauder Champions and immune to Psychology Ice-Horn Marauders, backed up by a ton of anti-large missiles. 5 whole units of Marauder Hunters with Javies. That is going to be quite some devastating firepower. I don't think the Javelins... it's gonna take long for them to take down a Mortis Engine. The Mortis Engine, if they even dare charge in the front line, will just get demolished by the anti-large shots. At the back, protecting the rear of the box, 3 whole units of Familiar Warriors. With great weapons, these guys, with their magical attacks, they can actually bypass the physical resistance of all those ethereal units, and it's gonna be quite lethal in this matchup. On top of that, spell support Familiar Bale Fiend with Flaming Sword of Ruin to give the Marauder Hunters even more weapon strength, more missile strength, and on top of the magic attacks, magic damage to bypass physical resistance, and also flaming attacks to really work down the regeneration, weakness to fire on the Mortis Engine. Yeah, I feel like things are looking quite grim for the Undead already, but we shall see if the Undead has anything to counter this this Norscan box. Hexwraiths already trying to catch a charge on some unsuspecting Familiar Warriors, but with the Familiar Warriors doing magic damage, they are just hitting back hard. Both sides are doing roughly same damage on to both each other, and considering Hexwraiths are the one getting the charge, this is not great at all. Hexwraiths charging into the flanks of the Marauders, doing some pretty nice damage, but the problem are really these Marauder Hunters with Javies. They are just throwing so much anti-large damage, shredding through the Hexwraiths and the poor Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. Zombie Summon dropped down already, but they're not dropped on the Javelins, so the Javelins are still free to fire. The front line, the Zombie Chaff and Skeletons are clashing into the Marauders, but being dealt with pretty comfortably, just holding back all these undead. And the Blood Dragon got absolutely murdered by those flaming javelins. Oh, this is so painful indeed. And not even the Hexwraiths can just charge in or anything, because if they do charge in, they'll just get hacked down in melee by all that damage attacks. Conwraiths being kind of forgotten in the back there, and the Blood Dragon will have to give up on the fight and chill a bit on the side. He does not want to get out of the woods and get shot by javelins again anytime soon. And it looks like we might be fighting Norsca in the next battle. Familiar Boxigal wannabe. Dude, Familiars are better than Boxigals in my opinion. But anyways, let's not talk about it right now. We can talk about how good Familiar is later. But right now, honestly, the Familiars are just doing just fine, honestly. They're not really needed anywhere right now. Throg is smashing the Mortis Engine just fine. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord once again approaching those javelins. Very brave Vampire Lord indeed. Dropping in an invocation for himself, healing himself up, but he's also exposed to point blank javelin fire, and he is getting absolutely murdered once again by the javelins. 2 units of javelins crossfire is enough. Actually, maybe make it 3. 3 units is more than enough to kill the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. These javelins are too busy fighting off the zombies, but they have decent enough melee stats to hold themselves in melee just fine, and Blood Dragon just get slaughtered with all those anti-large shots. Throg got forgotten in the front line, being plunged into the battle, and he smashed the Mortis Engine just fine with nothing really to kill him. Yeah, that is GG for the Vampire Count. Hayseed's deadly Norscan build definitely win out the day. Nothing painful about watching Vampire Counts get blasted. I feel like with my I don't know. I personally really like undead themed factions in general. Unfortunately, just Vampire Counts lately has been very meh. Their kits haven't received any updates for like years at this point. And they're just, hey Nurgles BA, how are you doing? And yeah, it's just not that great. GG to both players, and but unfortunately the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord absolutely murdered by those javelins, and it was a pretty quick pretty quick victory for the Norscan box. The javelins must have earned back a ton of value, 2,000 gold worth of damage value. Remember, javelins only cost 550 gold, so almost 4 times their cost. Insane stuff indeed. The rest of the javelins also did really well. These two probably just got distracted on the flanks, but yeah. One of the familiar warriors did pretty well. But mostly it's just the javelins absolutely slaughtering the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, and the rest of the Marauder infantry are just holding the front line, buying time for the Javis to do work. Stuff PTSD from the decade of Vampire Counts being S tier. I feel like Vampire Counts have not been S tier ever since game 1. Unless I was wrong, but like wait, no. The Kamler passive heal stack is a pretty deadly for sure, but otherwise, yeah, like yeah, especially in Game 3, Vampire Counts are just kind of trash right now. The thing is, they have really limited options in battles, so it's they can't really deal with box builds, right? They can't anything with a decent enough backline, like a backline that is decently competent in melee can just hold back a ton of hold back their only disruption tools, which are a bunch of Vargheists, Felbats, zombie summon, that sort of stuff, and it's not exactly that hard to hold them back. Yeah. The dwarfs, the Norscans, the high elves, they all have like decent enough backline to do that. When Immortal Empires came out, they were strong until their healing was halved. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's definitely their healing. Yeah. I forgot about the healing nerfs, actually. But yeah. GG to both players. I should jump into this lobby once Delta leaves. And I'll be fighting Hayseed. Alright, cool. They might be checking out their builds, but anyways, I should go and set up my lobby and yeah. So Wednesday faction wars. What is the map? What is our map? Wyvern Lake. So let me just quickly. Wait, why? Oh, yeah, right. Last time I was playing on a conquest mode. Alright, sorry, let me just quickly do some tournament admin. I think Crypt Horrors and Tomb Guard got nerfed too. Crypt Horrors have been kind of shit since forever. I feel like I haven't seen Crypt Horrors perform well ever since game 1 actually. Now that is something I definitely haven't seen since game 1. Alright, versus Norscan as the Tomb Kings. Oof, how are you doing this? I assume they're just gonna Javi us. So I think the meta was like this. Last time I saw it was like this, and then maybe we can do a Necro Sphinx now. Oi. We can try that actually. Just cause why the hell not? And then Arcane the Black with Spirit Leech, Fate of Puna, Life Leeching, Curse. Nah. Liber Mortis is good. Skeleton Steed, yeah, just got all the stuff. And then and then and then we're out of funds. God damn it. What else are we supposed to do here? Yeah, warriors. That's not too bad. But yeah, we're kind of poor now. That's not good. They're just gonna throw in a bunch of Javis on me. So, you know what? Maybe it's a good idea. I don't know. It's gonna be a ton of Javis. So, what am I supposed to do here? You know what? All right, you know what? Whatever, man. Let's just go all in on the rush. Yeah, let's do that. And then we have Cetra the Imperishable. Let's just go all in, boys. Yeah, that. Incantation. Curse Blades. Protection. I think we can have the Incantation of Vengeance as well. And then we just go all in on the melee. These are Halberd Necropolis Knights as well, so yeah, they have anti-large. Regular kitty instead of the RR anti-large one. Yeah, I'm bringing the Sphinx of Uskef, don't worry about that. Yeah, what else? I need a little bit more funds. I mean, we still have a little bit more funds, so I need to spend it as well. Restless Dead, definitely. Unyielding Will is nice. This is not that useful, and then we can spears at the back, and then another unit, and then another unit. I don't even know what is this, but or maybe I should, as you said, bring the skeleton archer calf. This might not be bad actually. We might just have to cheap out on some of these Necropolis Knights, but yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. We are maybe we can just pick out a big kitty cat, and then get another Necro. Yeah, we can maybe do that. That's Is this a serious tourney? It might be. It might be. I don't know. Like, I didn't say anything. People are free to play whatever they want. Theoretically, I want to make this a more casual tournament, but you never know. There's always people who go like a bit more serious. So that's why I didn't specify anything. So people are probably gonna go sweaty, but I don't give a shit. I just want to bring some big kittens to fight this. I don't think skin wolves are a main problem here. I can probably fight that with the Halberd Necropolis Knight and the Sphinx of Uskef. The main problem is probably, in my opinion, any javelin spam. I have no disruption in this fight, so yeah. Anyways, I am gonna go melee rush. I don't give a damn. Horse Cetra? No, I put it on a kitty cat. I put him on a kitty cat just because I want to play some kitty cat. That sounds wrong, but yes. I want to play with Cetra's kitty cat. It has plenty of armor even with Plague of Rust, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, like everything here is heavily armored. Oh wait, no, Sphinx of Uskef has 100 armor only? Shit. That's not amazing. Plague of Rust and Javelins will eliminate him pretty hard. It doesn't even have to be Javelins. It's honestly any... yeah. Let's just get some spears on the flanks. Spears in the middle. Alrighty. Ready when you are. Good luck, have fun. Alright, cool. We are ready now. I am Am I necessarily ready in terms of how ready I am to take this fight? Probably not. I haven't played Tomb Kings for like ages. I don't even know how to play them anymore. I just want to play them just because I wanna. So, yeah. I guess the double kitty cat is still a pretty decent meta build. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, Burning Head. Yeah, Burning Head would be the end of my front line. Oof. Not that I have any. Maybe I should have just got some Tomb Gods, actually. Too late to think about it now. I've got spear support and that shall do. Alright, I'm just waiting for my opponent. Once they're ready, we should start, but otherwise we're just chilling. Whew. Alright, looks like our opponent is ready, and yeah, let's go. That's a lot of throwing axes. Let's go and see what happens here. I don't even... Alright, that's I appreciate the familiar spam, honestly. I appreciate that. Shadows caster? Okay. Oh, oh, baby, that's not good. Why do you stop? Wait, what? Shoot at the skin wolves, please, and then, yeah, you don't want to give up on that. Give up on those guys. I don't. We can go take that fight. Alright, let's just do some damage. Vamir can't heal, so we are free to just chill here for a bit. And our front line is getting shredded, which honestly does kind of expected that anyways. And we can jump on that one. Let's just do some of that. And then let's just follow up. Alright, Kitty Cat is doing some pretty good damage, and then keep jumping on that. Push in, push in, push in, push in. I don't give a damn anymore. Just keep pushing. And explosion. Oh, curse the blade, whatever thingy. And alright, go and surround and beat down Throg, please. Alright, cool. We are pushing. And Hayseed is for some reason dropping his micro pretty badly, so we are gonna take this advantage while we're... Oh no. Oh wait, no, wait. Wait, what? Oh shit, Occam's Mind Razor! I did not expect that spell to appear. Alright, cool. That is not great. But we terrified everything in the vicinity, which is great. Yeah, I thought the physical resistance might be helpful, but... wait, what? Hayseed forgot about his throwing axes on the other side. Okay, I mean... Alright, let's just chase that off. I don't know. I guess it's doing some pretty decent damage, I guess. Let's pull out. Yeah. Alright, let's just jump in again. Oh no, our backline is kind of shit now. Alright. Oh no, I mean our monstrous presence is kind of shit now. And our opponent is definitely holding a bunch of units in reserve. Alright, let's just keep fighting and see if we can at least break off some of these familiars. Alright, cool. Let's just catch these Marauder Hunters in the fight. Do we have a summon yet? No, we haven't died enough yet. Alright, cool. Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Sphinx of Uskav, I need you to pull back and stay the hell away from Throg for now. Alright, cool. Fight those guys. You guys keep killing them. Alright, go and kill that. And we kind of have the infantry advantage. Just because how much stuff we have in the fight. Alright, cool. What is not cool is our horses are kind of dying pretty hard. Yeah, just keep chasing them. Alright, once again, they are routed. You know what? Just keep... Alright. Alright, drop those Shopti summons in and see if they can help us. Just help us take hits. And we are blinding the Familiar Warrior, so their melee stats are reduced, which is great for us. Oh no, our horse archers are almost dead. Alright, cool. It's just these two carrying the game now. Oh no. That is a big hit. Oh boy. Just keep spamming those physical resistance. And also passive heals, trying to keep it alive. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. Just keep sending stuff in. It is a 1v1. Let's see Citra 1v1 the Sphinx and send some stuff over here. Alright, what else are in the fight? More spears, whatever. Alright, let's go. Wait, where did those skin wolves come from? What the actual fuck? I didn't even realize they were around. Where the fuck did you come from? Alright, okay, those skin wolves got beaten up pretty bad, but the problem is... Tetra, cast a spell. Alright. That was a bad, very bad micro on me, blobbing up the troops too much. Alright, cool. That was a beautifully cast Pair of Shade, for sure. Oh man, I might actually lose it because of that blobbing. That was bad. Ugh. Oh no, Cetra is getting beat up pretty bad. Oh. Yeah, I could have had it, but yeah, I blobbed too hard, and I paid the ultimate price for this. That was a good game, though. That was a good game. GG. If I had Tomb Gods, I suppose things might be a bit different, but yeah. And that should be GG. That was a good game. For me, I still feel overcost. The great weapons, surely. I feel like the normal ones are fine. Yeah. And it's just gonna be. This is gonna be a matter of army losses. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have just shouldn't have brought. Oh, okay. Where were you guys? Wait, maybe the spears can hang it. Maybe the spears can duke it out. I don't know. It's probably not gonna happen. No! Army losses! I think the spears possibly could have had it, especially the spears over there. No! Oh, so close. Halberd Snick value? Yeah, probably the Halberd Snick kind of was overpriced as well. Okay, cool. Alright. Alright, let's see the army values and see which units are decent, which units are not good. The Sphinx definitely earned back his value. Cetra did okay. Yeah, the Necropolis Knights with Halberds absolutely suck ass. Okay. Don't bring them ever again. The rest of the army did alright. The Spears, they got into some fights against Skin Wolves and Throg, so the anti-large was nice, but overall, yeah, the Famirs, one of them did really well. Smashed the oh, and Throg as well, smashing the Sphinx of Uzkev. Excuse me. Balefin also got some really good damage, especially that deciding strike of Pit of Shades. Forgot to check the spell kit on the Famir and lost the fight because I blobbed up. Cries, pain, pain indeed. That was a very nicely played from Hayseed. Yeah, if I didn't blob, I could have won this. Ugh. Or maybe. I feel like Throgus could still possibly beat down Cetra. Even with all the infantry support. Because there's no mass on my side to shield Cetra from Throg pushing through the skeletons and smashing the kitty cat up. So, yeah. Very good game, very well played by my opponent Hayseed, which he will be moving on to the finals. Semifinals first. Semifinals. The Famir is definitely doing a good job in the fight there. Anyways, let's just quickly hop back in. There we go, and nope, scoreboard, nope, screen blocker. There we go. And let's see who's playing against Hayseed. Caradoc from the VM clan. Oh, playing as Dark Elves. Yeah, okay. Alright, okay, let me just quickly call Hayseed back into the lobby. Okay, Hayseed Norsca versus Dark Elves of Caradoc. Alright, let me just check which map am I supposed to use in this one. For some reason, Caradoc dropped, Hayseed dropped out of the lobby, so I am the host now. There we go. Alright, cool. We should be on the right maps. Horn Hills. Yeah, there we go. Norsca versus Dark Elves. Two pirate factions when you think about it. One is the Vikings, the other has some massive black arcs roaming the seas, hunting beasts or terrorizing the coast. But yeah, GG, Hayseed, GG. Chickadee, regular Necro Knights are decent, especially if you use the Overcast spell for the 16 anti-large. Oh right, yeah, that would be a very good synergy. You don't even have to pay for anti-large when you just spam Winds of Magic on it. Yeah, that would have probably been a way better call. Ah well. Next time. I need to play more Total Warhammer these days, to get more practice in. Especially, I want to get some practice as Corn and play and get ready before the DLC drops. So yeah, I do need to play more games. Especially after playing on the Euro Cup hosted by Jayama, I realize I'm actually playing like shit all the time. As in my micro regressed quite a bit, so I need to practice a bit more and get back in shape. Right now, the only factions I'm decent, fairly confident about is Warriors of Chaos Empire Norsca, weirdly enough, despite being a D tier faction. Ogre Kingdom's definitely something I play more comfortably with, and I think that's about it. And maybe Beastmen as well, since it's a strong faction and I'm like decent playing Beastmen before as well, so. But otherwise, I kind of got a bit out of touch with the rest of the factions. Oh, and also Wood Elves, actually. I am obsessed with Wood Elf Melee Rush. Especially now that the Wood Elf Melee Rush is pretty damn viable. A bunch of their melee units got better. Their melee cavalry, their Zotes. Yeah, they're just more reliable in melee now, doing more damage and all that. I think, yeah, War Dancers also got a little bit of a buff from the last patch, I believe. I don't remember exactly. Particularly, I've had to wake up before 5 AM for work on summer, so I've been played hardly any games. Yeah. Well, sometimes life takes priority. Like, sometimes I have to skip, like, streaming and playing games, too, because, like, I've worked requires me to be elsewhere, and I can't always be in front of my computer, so yeah. Anyways, we can just wait for. Oh right, speaking of I can't be in front of the computer, I won't be. Wait, what is? Which week is it? Let me just check. 3 weeks later, I won't be around to. I won't be around 3 weeks later for. Yeah, and we'll have to skip 1 week of Wednesday Faction Wars, because I will once again be traveling and be out of town, unable to access my PC and host games. So, yeah, that will be a minor one issue. Grilling a steak definitely takes priority over streaming. Normally, yes. Normally, I would say so if it only involves me, but for events like these, when like people have already signed up and they're gonna commit time into the games, I would not prioritize steak over this. But yeah, normally grilled steak is super important, so which is why I delayed the announcement of not the announcement, but more like reminder, the 30-minute reminder. Normally it's a 1 hour reminder to the tournament, right? But now it's today is a 30-minute reminder, because as evident with the picture I posted on the food channel on the Nat Crew Clan Discord, I was busy grilling a steak, or frying it. It was a pretty meh steak. It cost like 3 quid and a bit more. So, almost 4 quid, yeah, almost 4 quid. So it's a pretty damn cheap steak from like a cheap supermarket, but yeah, I mean it's a big piece of protein, big piece of beef steak, and on top of that, because it has quite a bit of fat on the edges, I trimmed the fat and extracted the oil, and that made the potato so much better. Like, it adds a bit of that beef fat fragrance. Like when you grill like a burger, you can smell the oil being cooked, right? Like that's just a hint of like beef oil that you kind of smell. The beef fat, you can smell, like you can kind of taste it on the roasted potatoes. That was so good. I was wondering if I should have added some herbs onto it, but now that I think about it, it's probably gonna overpower the beef, the smell of the cow fat, so the beef oil. So it's probably not the best call, which is why I didn't. Yeah, which is why I'm glad I didn't put any herbs on it. But yeah, like I heard the reason why I did that was because I heard that I heard McDonald's actually use proper beef fat, beef oil to fry their Wait, what? What? It desynced? What? Oh, god damn it. Oh, they might be already in the game. Oh shit. Caradoc and Hayseed. Alright, cool. I don't think we can help. We can do anything about it, so until they respawn or something. And let's see if Captain Tillis and Nurgle's PA. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think they are still in the fight, and we just kind of desynced and kicked ourselves out. So, yeah, I guess I'll just see if Nurgle's PA, and his opponent, Captain Tillis, are in the fight. If they have started as well, then I guess we'll just watch the semifinals and replays. But we have quite a few replays already, so from all the players sending in, so we have quite a bit of content, so that's not a main problem at all. Okay, this one's from Fat Kid at Recess, so there we go. Alright, give me a second, I'm just gonna keep downloading some of these replay files. Alright, cool. And at the same time, I think I need to delete some of my replay files. It kind of bloating up my my back end here. Wait, Friday Night Fights? Oh right, yeah, I was fighting Friday Night Fights. These are, oh yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, let's just do that and then delete these. Alright, cool. McDonald doesn't any longer. Yeah. I heard I was reading some random posts about like McDonald's using beef fat to fry their fries. Of course they don't do it anymore, but the post, basically the Reddit post was saying they were so good. And I was like, maybe I can do something like that to my roasted potatoes, which is exactly what I did to them. Douse them in like the fat I extracted from the steak, and then chuck them in the oven, and they just kind of absorb the flavor, which is really nice. Anyways, let's hop into some replays now that we're just waiting for players to send us, waiting for the finalists. We'll just be watching some replays for now. Now, today, for this one, we have a Fat Kid at Recess versus Captain Tillis. So, Lizardmen versus Slaanesh. Fat Kid using a Lizardmen army with a lot of skinks. A lot of skinks, and oh wait, there are some sort of spears. And on the other side, we have a double Keeper of Secret army. So, let's check out the army builds here. For the Lizardmen army, wait, do I have army blocker on? Nope, yeah, army blocker off, that's fine. A front line of red crested flanking some Saurus spears, 3 units of Saurus spears, and 2 units of chameleon stalkers. Interesting choice. In this guy's a bunch of pterodon riders, and even the Polhawk sentinels. The poison inducing, oh, even some Fire Leech Bolas as well. Interesting army choices, combos. With Rock Draws, Poison Shots, and yeah, double Fire Leech Bolas. Poison Shots plus physical resistance on the Pohawk Sentinels. The Ripper Dactyl Riders, Regiment of Renown, Colossodon Hunters, regular Ripper Dactyl Riders. A Quattle in the skies, providing that Watcher of Sacred Places, Master of the Sacred Places, providing ground units nearby with the stalking effect. Though it doesn't really do anything against Slaanesh since, well, there are no long-range attacks on Slaanesh side anyways. Leading the army, a Death Slaanesh Priest. Interesting choice. Once again, no life magic, not metal magic, just death magic with Spirit Leech, Fate of Yuna, Shield of the Old One. So a powerful caster with some buffs, and that's about it. Nothing else. No bound spells, no bound ability or items. As for the Slaanesh army, we have a front line of Chaos Warriors backed up by some Devoted Marauders, including one Hell Scourge, and then further back more Marauders, 2 Keepers of Secret. One of them the Exalted version, the other the Regiment of Renown Marquis of Masochism. And 1 unit of Fiends of Slaanesh. They are a really strong monstrous infantry these days after the additional entity models. And yeah, definitely top of the line unit for the Slaanesh faction. Some Seekers in the forest. Yeah. And more Seekers on at the back of the formation. Spell-wise, it's gonna be Acquiescence for the melee defense debuff and Slow Lash of Slaanesh for the AoE damage. And the Rampage-inducing Seductive Glory. So that is going to be something that the Flyers have to be careful about. They don't want to get caught by the Exalted Keeper of Secrets and get Rampage. Otherwise, they would just get stuck in melee and just got killed by everything on the Slaanesh army side. As for the... yeah, right now, the Flyers of the Lizardmen are moving up. Now that there are no melee presence on the Slaanesh side, they're free to just fly over and start shooting at the Exalted Keeper of Secrets or the Marquis of Masochism. Oh, the Marquis of Masochism has self-heal when units are wavering nearby, and with the skinks nearby, that might be quite useful. But yeah, anyways, the double Exalted Keeper of Secrets are slamming in Lash of Slaanesh, doing almost no damage to the Saurus. I mean, did something, but nothing too amazing. Chameleon Stalkers launching their explosives, while Red Crested getting absolutely chopped up by Seekers and Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh. Colossodon Hunters diving down, but the Seekers immediately backing off already, while over here, the Quata will be dropping some spells and working through the hit points of these Chaos Warriors. Fire Leech Bolas and Rock Drops and all that from all those Pterodon Riders would be quite nice against the armored infantry, but the problem is that the Slaanesh Priest is pretty much to the mercy of the two the 2 Keepers of Secrets, and there's nothing really to protect him either. When the 2 Keeper of Secrets can simply push through the Skinks and the Saurus and just get to the Lizardman Lord. Already, the Slaanesh Priest is getting hit hard, and enfeebling foe from the bound spell of the Marquis of Masochism, reducing his melee stats. Even the Shield of the Old Ones is dropping in, trying to sustain his HP point, but that is not helping at all since he is now pinned down by Phantasmagoria. I think it's another bound ability on the Marquis of Masochism, preventing the Slaanesh Priest from escaping, and just 2 minutes in, the Slaanesh Priest has already been routed by the double Keeper of Secrets, taking a ton of damage in that melee fight. The Ripper Dactyl Riders are diving in, trying to save their Leech Lord, but they can stop one of the Keeper of Secrets, but the other, not so much. The Fire Leech Bolas are still chucking in explosives, but at this point, losing the Lord might put a huge dent in their leadership in terms of their infantry. You can see the Saurus Spears were holding fine previously, but once their Slaanesh Priest has died, they're immediately breaking. Oh no, Pterodon Riders, why? Oh wait, no. The Pterodon Riders are still sitting in the skies, chucking in missiles and try to work down the 2 Exalted Keeper, the 2 Keeper of Secrets. I feel like it's probably, yeah, it's. If they can work down the Keeper of Secrets, the Lizardmen might stand a chance. But right now, seeing that there's still a unit of Fiends of Slaanesh forgotten on the far side, Actually, no. Maybe not forgotten, just tactical reserve, as they don't really want to jump into a fight against Saurus Spears and get killed in melee, right? But yeah, right now, a massive leadership issue for the Lizardmen. Normally, they would be fine. Normally, they hold really well with their relatively high leadership. But for some reason, everything is just collapsing on the Lizardmen side once the Slaanesh Priest has died. And yeah, on top of that, Quattol being double-teamed by the two Keeper of Secrets. And not only that, providing the heals to the two Keeper of Secrets with their Feasting on Fear. Not giving them heal, allowing them to recover HP is gonna be a massive issue for the Lizardmen as well. Not that, yeah, it's not that the healing is too much, but every little bit helps for the Slaanesh army. And on top of that, oh, Fascination, the army ability of Slaanesh, rampaging one of the Pterodon Riders, the Pohawk Sentinels, into melee combat, and once they drop down onto the ground, they are slaughtered in melee by all the Slaanesh melee forces. And then, yeah, at this point, it is pretty much just a matter of time when army losses hit. Needs more Boxagors, love the Fire Leech Bolas. I don't know about the Boxagors. They are pretty meh in melee against anything not infantry. So the Fiends, and like if you spend money onto something like the Croxagors, that means you have less money for the front line, so you can't bring Saurus Spears. And that means the Fiends are free to charge in and slap your front line. And they will slap even the Boxagors. So yeah, I'm not too sure if Boxagor is a good choice here, but Boxagor would be definitely a cool unit to see. It's just that they are not necessarily viable. But yeah, against Slaanesh, usually you want to bring like a box build. So maybe Boxagor with like a bunch of Temple God going super tall in your army build, and a Slaanesh dropping in AoE damage left, right, and center might help. But yeah, in this build with the Saurus, you can't really afford the Boxagors. I guess the Chameleon Skings was a pretty questionable pick for sure. But yeah, as you can see, Fat Kid Every says, going with some pretty interesting choice. Fire Leech Bolas doing really well if they could have just stayed in the skies. And like, if the Slaanesh Priest didn't got killed so fast, I think the Fire Leech Bolas can pretty much finish the infantry. And the Pohawk Sentinels can keep shooting at the Keeper of Secrets. But the problem is, it was a Slaanesh Priest without any bodyguard, so he just got slaughtered. Yeah, but yeah, Fat Kid definitely was memeing in this fight. The double Keeper of Secrets did some really good work, and yeah, mostly just them two killing off the main component of the Lizardmen army, sniping out the Slaanesh Priest, and then applying the terror to nearby Saurus infantry and Chameleon Skinks, earning that victory. And yeah, looks like Caradoc and Hayseed are done with their fight now, so maybe we can find... Is it this? No, nope. Wait, no. Is it this? Oh yeah, it's Nurgle P. Oh, what? Yeah, it is that. All right, where is? I was trying to meet. Yep, there we go. Yep, there we go. And then screen blocker. We're good. All right. We're on Right Glen Estate, Dark Elves versus Skaven. Caradoc has emerged victorious into the final stage, whilst Nurgle's PA Skaven, being an S tier faction. We all know that Skaven is an S tier faction. They have gone into the finals without any issue. Dark Elves. This has been the second time since I start hosting Wednesday faction wars. This is the second time for Dark Elves to get into the final. So yeah, next week we're gonna be banning them again. Skavens are getting here the first time though, so it's gonna be quite interesting to see what they're gonna do against the Dark Elves. Haven't seen a Dark Elf versus Skaven match for a while, but I do wonder what they can bring to the fight. I believe, if I remember correctly, Dav just posted a video about Skavens versus Dark Elves, so maybe perhaps we will see something, we'll see some inspiration from that video, or maybe not. We never know. You never know until we load in, after people set down their army builds. But yeah, interesting army build from Nurgle's PA, and definitely an interesting army build from Caradoc. Anyways, we shall wait for the players. Meme's too strong. Ban everyone except lizards. Maybe we can do a Lizardmen Civil War in somewhere down the line, but not gonna be anytime soon, I don't think. Plus, I still got another like relatively meme tournament idea that I want to pull, that I want to like host first. So I'll probably drop a meme 20 in the next week or the week after. And then after that, I will have a 1 week break because I won't be around. But yeah, as I said before, if you are in a previous stream of mine, I talked about that idea for a bit, which is basically cutting off any infantry support. Basically banning people from using units in their infantry section of the army selection screen. Which means most army will either have to use cavalry or missile infantry to cap points on the conquest mode. Not sure how that is gonna work out, but we shall see later. But right now, let's just on the left we have Caradoc on 0 points right now. Let's just pull it slightly to the left. And then Nurgle's PA on the right. Right, I need to get the score up. Once again, we are on Reichland Estate, a pretty decent map with a bit of terrain in the middle though. With Caradoc's Dark Elves versus Nurgle's PA Skaven for the army builds here. Caradoc going for an interesting kite choice. A front line of Bleak Swords and one single Black Arc Corsairs with the anti-infantry bonus, but a ton of mobility. Core Knights, Dark Riders, more Dark Riders, these ones with repeater crossbows, and 3 units of Scourge Runner Chariots. They are no longer the cheese they used to be, so I don't call them cheese runners anymore, but they're still pretty decent with like their armor-piercing missile fire, able to kill monsters and infantry, but mostly just monsters and cavalry actually. Shooting infantry is not worth it. And yeah. And then we have Death Coster with Spirit Leech, Doom and Darkness, and Fate of Buna. More Dark Riders in the forest. On the other side, the Skaven army. We have a front line of Skaven Slaves, second line of Slingers. So they have pretty decent range compared to their Shuriken infantry, the Night Runners with shurikens and whatnot. Yeah, they have 120 range, so they can actually counter skirmish enemy crossbow cavalry. And then at the back there are 3 units of Storm Vermin. They have been really nice after the recent buff. So interesting to see them being brought here against the Dark Elves, who are usually known for their AP damage, but being a sturdy backline protector, they can probably just grind down cavalry in melee. A bunch of red ogres for a bit of mass, and the core. Oh, there are some Night Runners in the front line to do some screening. But yeah, for the single entity core, Chieftain, Packmaster, who does have some healing support for nearby monsters, including the Red Ogre. Mutant Red Ogre. Ridden by the Chieftain. And then there's also a Kick Claw on his hamster wheel. On the far side there, Slingers already skirmishing with the Scourge Runner Chariot. Scourge Runners were forced to pull back. They don't really have a good target against the Skaven army like that, other than, I guess, oh, actually, no. The Red Ogres and the single entities would be pretty decent, since they're all monstrous entities, being a decent-ish hitbox to get shot. Leading the army for the Dark Elves is Monolith's Darkblade, and he is just duking around, just trying to bait out some shots from the enemies, and also buy time for the rest of the mobility to skirmish away. I feel like Scourge Runners just kind of like shooting against the Storm Vermin is not exactly the best call here. Especially some of their shots are being lured into some of these Skaven Slave Spears. Their ammo is quite expensive and they are relatively limited in ammo, 20 rounds, so 20 times 4, roughly 24 rounds times 4 is like 96 shots. And it's not that much. It's not that much. They need to make sure they're using it on the right targets, like the Red Ogres and the single entities. But yeah, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. The prime target definitely is a Kick Claw, but he is very well screened by the rest of the Skaven units, kind of just staying away from the enemies. A Fate of Buna is going to go on to the Storm Vermin, deleting the unit. There are no heals for Skaven, so the unit is... Once the unit is gone, it is gone. But yeah, the rest of the Skavens are just moving up. They do have a great advantage of sheer numbers, so they are cautiously advancing. They can weather the storm of enemies. But another Spirit Leech... wait, no. Please don't tell me we're decent. Oh, okay. That scared me for a bit. But yeah, the Fate of Buna did like 40% damage to the Storm Vermin, so not anything amazing. And oh no, the Scourge Runner chariots are on fire at will, firing shots into the Skaven slaves and just really wasting their value. Malus Darkblade being... well, the Packmaster tried to hunt down Malus Darkblade, but he took a bunch of damage instead. And on top of that, Scourge Runner chariots finally getting the target onto the right target. Getting their sight lined up on the right target, shooting at a Kick Claw, but only doing some minor damage so far. Not exactly the best accuracy, since they're pretty much shooting at the edge of their range. Yeah. So wasting a few more shots there. One of them down to almost half ammo. All of them are just kind of using quite a bit of ammo so far, but not doing a whole lot of damages for now. Now the Scourge Runner is going for a cheeky melee charge. If they can get that charge impact contact, they can do some pretty good damage against the lightly armored Skaven Slave Spears. Already wrecking that unit at 25% HP gone, and that unit is routed. While on the flanks, some of these Dark Elf mobility are just teasing the Skaven army. Not really trying to commit, just throwing in some shots. The stray shots hit the nearby Storm Vermin, but overall, yeah, not a whole lot damage here or there. Yeah, still below 700 value, and the Scourge Runners did very minimal damage, and yeah, they're just kind of skirmishing away. They're taking some shots from the Slingers, but Slingers not having the most AP value, and piss poor missile strength at 9 damage per shot. The Scourge Runners with their 80 armor is doing just fine. And another charge route of the Skaven Slaves once again with the charge impact. And one more route, the Skaven Slaves will be shattered, and that will be one counter skirmishing tool gone for the Skavens. But right now, Slingers are peppering down the Scourge Runners. They have shit AP value for sure and shit missile strength, but it still adds up. 1 AP per shot, and then times 140 models, 130 something, depending on how many unit models they lost. Damage still adds up, especially high elves. Dark elves doesn't have healing, right? So, anyways, very nice micro from Caradoc here. Very patiently psycho charging the Scourge Runner chariots. The chariots can fire at the Red Ogres, forcing them to pull back. But once the Red Ogres pull back, there's nothing to protect the Skaven slaves, and that's where the Scourge Runner charges in. One of the Storm Vermin getting a little bit out of position, so they're now returning to secure the backline here. Scourge Runner is getting caught temporarily by the Skaven slaves, but not taking too much damage. On the far side there, Caradoc still kiting away, teasing the Skaven formation, trying to force it, expose some of the weaknesses, and it's been decently effective so far. Some of these slingers were unprotected due to the Red Ogres and the single entities being out of position, and also the Storm Vermin are just not doing anything here, as the enemies simply move away before they can even catch up to their targets. And yeah, right now it is like patient kiting for now. Repeater crossbows, Caradoc really on top of his micro here. Those repeater crossbows have been jumping in and out, just kind of chipping away the health of the Skaven units, doing some minor damage here and there, but taking very minimal damage in return. More shots going into the Red Ogres, but definitely need to reserve some ammo for killing the single entities here. They did some damage to the Packmaster, but as you can see, the Packmaster has healing, so he just kind of recovered all that. What doesn't have healing are these Storm Vermins now being targeted by the repeater crossbows. Now the Skaven Slave Slingers will be responsible for walking through and target those repeater crossbows instead, using their skirmishing fire to their advantage here and counteract enemy skirmish fire. But yeah, it's a very patient kiting game now. What exciting gameplay. I wonder if mandatory 12 range units tournament would be boring or hilarious. It's still gonna be a conquest though, so they will still have to cap points, so they can't just kite. But I'm planning to give players more bans, so they won't be fighting. Like if they hate dwarves or cafe, they can simply ban it outright. And yeah, they can ban if they can have like 3 bans. They can just ban the more toxic factions and still like have some decent picks for counters and all that. But I'll see what happens there. I'm still kind of thinking about the rules. On the far side, the Skaven slaves slingers are a bit out of position and getting charged by the Core Knights, immediately getting routed by the cheeky charge slingers, firing back onto the Dark Riders repeater crossbows, and Scourge Runners are still trying to cheese this fight. Skaven slaves though taking more and more damage, and Storm Vermin's being peppered by AP shots, not having a good time either. But yeah, Scourge Runners are almost out of ammo, so the kiting phase is almost over. Dark Riders charging in, but yeah, the counter charge from the single entities of Skavens did a lot of damage to them. They tried to pull back before being charged, but that was a little bit too late, and that split second was enough for them to take a huge impact damage. But good news for the Dark Elves is that they managed to catch an overextended Red Ogre out of position, getting that unit pretty much for free. More Skaven slaves being routed and chased off away. There's still one unit of very healthy Storm Vermin holding the back line here, though. Yeah, Skaven slaves once again exposed to an enemy charge. They are not gonna have a good time, but Storm Vermin is nearby. These guys at half health, but still more than enough to deal with the Dark Riders doing some really nice damage already. While the blob of Skaven motor monsters are just trying to get as much healing as possible. Some of these are enjoying the running with the pack healing. Passive heal only activates in melee from the pack master, so they're getting some HP back. And with the pace of this battle, perhaps maybe we will see some we might perhaps see some heal capped Red Ogres, who knows. But yeah, right now Black Akos is rushing in, but getting run through by a bunch of motor monsters. Malus is still chilling around, getting his healing. But yeah, now the Skaven slaves are pretty much exposed with nothing to really protect them, and the Dark Elf mobility are free to charge. Now some Storm Vermins and Skaven slave slingers are returning to this fight, trying to converging into a bit of a melee resistance against the enemy troops. But yeah, the Skaven slave slingers still got routed, even straight up shattered, as they have routed one too many times. A Flensing Ruin onto Malus Darkblade, which is not going to be a main problem of Marvelous. Scourge Runners getting absolutely shredded as they are caught in melee. They have been really effective in charging the Skaven slaves, but this time they have overstayed their welcome, being hacked down in melee by a bunch of stuff. Yeah, another Fate of Buna onto this relatively healthy Storm Vermins, but they are just rushing forward to face the charge of the Core Knights, doing some really nice damage, slicing down these incoming Dark Elf cavalry. But here comes the Black Corsairs to get a better trade for the Dark Elves. Balance of power is in favor of Skaven though, because of how healthy their single entities are. But don't forget about Malus Darkblade, who does have a Dark Hand transformation, and this balance of power of the Dark Elves are underestimated by the computer for now. On the far side there are some regrouped Skaven infantry here, but the Core Knights will try to run down those Skaven units, while the Dark Elves are pretty much regrouping right now. Our attacking rule is still fulfilled by these Black Corsairs and Bleak Swords, engaging in melee, but the rest of the army is free to regroup, and Malus is just backing off as well. Is his healing available when he's... wait, yeah. Oh, his healing only available in melee, so he needs to charge something. These Storm Vermins, which are wavering, is probably a good idea, actually. Just rush in with Malus and then charge something in as well, and then they will be routed, and the Malus can keep chasing them down to keep getting the passive heal, and get a little bit more damage out with his current form. Anyways, Malus continues to kite, but another Fate of Buna. We have seen 3 Fate of Bunas now. On to the Storm Vermins, it's once again. And this unit will probably be extremely weak after this. Would be less than a quarter of HP for sure after that direct damage. Once again, the Storm Vermins and Skaven Slaves have been routed, and Dark Elf will try to utilize their mobility melee advantage here to ping pong around the battlefield, pick off as many Skaven units as possible. But the Skaven single entities is still going to be a problem. Of course, Malus can transform into Darken and try to take down a kit, and once a kit goes down, things will be relatively rough for Skavens, though the Chieftain is around. He is around to provide the... Wait, no? Yeah, the... Wait, no? 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 He doesn't have the power grab, so yeah, if a kit goes down, that is gonna be the end for Skaven, as they will just slowly die to the lack of leadership. Or quickly break break due to the leadership collapse. And Flensing Ruin has been consistently cast on to Malus, but Malus is still able to transform into Darken anytime, so yeah. Wait. Okay, the Dark Riders are moving up. And they have been kiting, so kind of fulfilling the attacking rule. I misclick from the Dark Riders for sure. Oh wait, nope, never mind. It's just the Dark Riders moving up to get into shooting distance, and they have successfully done so, now blasting those Red Ogres point blank. Wait, this is huge. Malus actually broke from the Flensing Ruin and was forced to go. Or was it a Storm Demon? Wait, how did his HP got burst down? Was that only the Searing Doom? That might also be a Storm. That might be a Storm Demon as well. Blasting Malus HP, and that forced him into a rout. Not quite enough to kill him though, so that was an issue. And yeah. Anyways, Dark Riders now moving up to shoot at the Storm Vermin. Malus is just hiding in the forest, trying to stay safe away from any Flensing Ruin. Spirit Leech is gonna be consistently kiting down just kiting away a Kick Claw, so slowly working down his health. Not great for the Skaven caster. Dark Riders with Repeater crossbows are moving away from the pursuing Chieftain, and they have been doing some good damage to the Storm Vermin, if anything. This might be a bit... Okay, the Sorceress of Death Magic has been caught in melee against the Packmaster, so that was the attacking rule fulfilled, I guess. Bleak Sword's also moving up against the Packmaster, but Packmaster really going all out to just trying to hunt down the Deathcaster, trying to keep a Kick Claw alive from the Spirit Leeches. Skaven Slave Slingers are moving up to shoot at the Dark Riders, and yeah. Now, Packmaster is now tied down by Bleak Swords and Dark Riders. Yeah, now the pressure is off from the Sorceress of Death. At the back there, Red Ogres are charging Scourge Runner Chariots, while the Goa Knights are slamming into the Skaven Slaves. Storm Vermin with Halberds are moving up, and they're being slammed by a bunch of Scourge Runners, taking some damage. Both sides taking some damage, but definitely seems like the Scourge Runners get a little bit better end in this exchange. And now there's Flensing Ruin, this time onto a transformed Darken, and they are going 1v1 versus a Kick Claw. A Kick Claw does not want to stay in that fight, unfortunately. Being directly killed in melee and drained by the Reaper of Souls, he is taking a lot of damage right now. Nothing is nearby to save him, which is a problem, and a kit has been routed. This is a massive loss for the Skavens, as their leadership will start to crumble. All these nearby Skaven Slingers are fleeing for their lives, but a lot of damage has done to Malus still, so that is not too bad, I guess. But yeah, the main problem is how can Skaven pull this back and kill Malus or Darken when a Kick Claw is going down like that. Yeah, nothing really much can be done to save their Leech Lord. All their units are gone now, and a Kick Claw is getting killed in melee, and then the Skavens, yeah, a kick shatters, so Darken can probably finish him in melee, which is gonna just rout and shatter the remaining Skaven infantry. These two characters are in a bit of an issue. Shockcaller and Scrying Stone are keeping their leadership up for now, but oh, Malice or Zarkan is coming in and with a bit of fear causing trait. Not that it's going to be effective against the Chieftain or the Brutor anyways, but yeah, the Packmaster doesn't have the greatest leadership, fighting against a more powerful presence in melee. Yep, there goes the Skaven entities, and yeah. There goes the Skaven entities, and GG to both players as army losses kick in. Man, that was a patient kite for sure against a Skaven melee box. Kind of a melee box. It was definitely a Skaven melee defensive formation, putting more value into their melee troops to hold the line and buy time for the slingers to shoot. But yeah, very patient kiting did pay off for the Dark Elves in the end, doing some really good damage in a few of their units there, including the Scourge Runners and the Dark Riders. 400 kills on these Cold Knights. Very nicely done by, honestly, very nicely done by Karadok there. Slowly picking apart the defensive formation of the Skaven and eventually wearing them down in melee combat. Kind of just slowly tearing at the enemy box, and as the enemy tries to shift around and respond to your attacks, the box breaks apart and exposes certain weaknesses, allowing Karadok to exploit that and eventually win out in the end. But yeah, it did take quite a while for this battle to go through. Man, that was quite a long one. But yeah, unfortunately, the Skaven Slingers were just not quite enough to deal with all those Scourge Runners and Cycle Charging Cohen Knights and Dark Riders. Probably not T-Bubble Sharpshooter at that point to deal with all those Scourge Runners. Yeah, I suppose the Skavens were more expecting more of a melee rush instead of a kite build, and this kite build actually was not exactly susceptible to the Slinger Fire, which is very weak, so yeah. Karadok is waiting for the last second for the transformation. Yeah, absolutely the very, very last second. Yeah. Alright, next battle between the Dark Elves and Skavens. This time they have to change into a different lord. They can't just pick the same lord, they will have to switch over to a different lord. So, no more Malice for the Dark Elves and no more Ikit Claw for Skavens. And this is gonna be a major issue for the Skavens because their best lord is definitely Ikit Claw. But without him, Skavens do indeed fall a little behind. Now that Nurgle's PA has used up their strongest character. Now let's see what kind of armies they're gonna take. And at the same time, let me just quickly check something. Alright, cool. Now we wait for them to pick their armies. They will have to use a different lord. Oh, okay, never mind. We can talk about it later, but yeah. They will have to use a different lord, so once the lord changes, the strategy of the builds, and the builds also will have to change drastically to fit the lord. So it's going to be interesting to see what Karadok and Nurgle's PA are going to come up with their builds to kill off each other. It's going to be a different anti-Skaven Dark Elf build, and it'd be a different anti-Dark Elf Skaven build. Okay, hold on a second. Nurgle's PA might be running into some issues here, so we... Alright, looks like Nurgle's PA actually have to forfeit the last... the couple of... the best of 3, as he has to work on some stuff in real life. So, yeah. Plus, also, I feel like the first game dragged out a little bit too long and kind of overran for him. So, that is gonna be the end of today's best of 3, and Caradoc will be reigning victorious with the Dark Elves in this faction wars. And GG to all players. I hope you all enjoyed the bit of multiplayer action, and do stay around. We are not done with replays just yet. We have a ton of replays to cast, and yeah. And yeah, just yeah, don't head off just yet. We'll be moving on to the replay section as Caradoc will be securing victory for, will be claiming victory for this faction war tournament. For now, let me just quickly... Yeah, I was looking at the... Anyways, I was looking at the Dark Elf build. As you can see here, there's a bunch of Witch Elves, and I believe this is more of a build that Nurgle's PA was expecting. A ton of Slingers would be quite lethal to the Witch Elves, and it will take some time for the Witch Elves to kill off all the Skaven infantry, and then they have to fight the Storm Vermins as well. But unfortunately, they don't really have... Yeah, they don't... the Nurgle's PA was not fighting this army previously. He would probably have had a better time if he had, yeah, the previous build, versus this one instead. But considering what happened, the Kite build seemed to be able to counter Nurgle's PA's... Nurgle's need his PA. Maybe. But yeah, Nurgle's PA... Yeah, the Kite build of the Dark Elves managed to counter Nurgle's PA's box build and picked apart the Skaven defenses. Very well played from Caradoc, and congratulations for the win. Let me just quickly do a bit of tournament admin, and then we will be moving on to the replay section. All right. Yeah, all right. Alright, so that is gonna be the end for the live stream section for this tournament. We are moving on to replays now. Let me just quickly grab the replays. Oh yeah, that's A-Seat versus Caradoc. Captain Taylor's versus Nurgle's PA. Alright, cool. I think we have all the replays now. AC versus Caradoc, and wait. I think that's it. Yep, cool. Alrighty, time for replays, everyone. We have checked out the Lizardmen versus Slaanesh replay, where the double Keeper of Secrets bullied the poor Slan. Next up, the fat bastard getting bullied by the two sex demons. That's what happened. Okay, now for the next battle, Skavens versus Demon of Chaos. Skavens against Karanak and a Herald of Slaanesh. That is gonna be quite painful for a Kick Claw to deal with, considering if Karanak gets close, a Kick Claw will be completely silenced, and his powerful toolkits of a ton of bound abilities and spells are gonna be useless. But we shall see what happens here. Now let us pause the game for a bit and go through the army builds. We have Skavens played by Nurgle's PA, front line of Skaven Slave Spears, second line of Skaven Slave Slingers, a lot of Slinger Fire, a lot of Pebbles to use their sheer volume of firepower to work down the relatively light armored Demons of Chaos. Actually, a lack of armor in general on that side. 3 units of Storm Vermins with halberds to hold the backline, and a few units of Red Ogres providing some mass and AP. Not that AP does anything, but the mass definitely helps fighting back the enemy mobility and monsters. Leading the army, a Kick Claw supported by a Packmaster. A Kick Claw coming in with his Storm Demon ability, Howling Warp Gale, Flensing Ruin, and Brass Orb, Unlimited Power, all the good stuff. And a bunch of skirmishing forces of a few Night Runners, using their missiles no doubt to whittle down the lightly armed Demons units. For the Demon side, going for a rather expensive build, a front line of Bloodletters, not the cheaper horrors, and in the forest hiding Herald of Slaanesh with Pavane and Lash of Slaanesh, plus a Fury Summons. There's another unit of Hounds of the Blood Hunt, which has the dampening contact effect. I don't know if it actually is useful or anything, but it does heal in melee with the Gore Feast, so that is pretty nice. And Karanak as well, providing that silence aura. No, oh wait, no. They brought Prey of the Blood God. Let me just check. I swear I banned the net for Demons of Chaos. Yeah, I banned Karanak's net playing as Demons of Chaos. I guess they accidentally brought the net. Not that it matters anyways, because Skavens actually won in this fight, so it's fine. But yeah, I do have to remind everyone to not bring net when bringing Karanak when playing as Demons of Chaos. Net is fine if you're bringing Khorne, but for Demons of Chaos, no, you can't just use that and Spirit Leech and kill something. But I guess there's no Spirit Leech here, so it's relatively fine. Anyways, in the skies, Furies and Screamers. And on the far side, more Screamers, more Furies, and another unit of Flesh Hound. So that's it for the army builds. Basically like front line of Bloodletters and a ton of mobility on the flanks, trying to overload enemy defenses. Let's see how that's gonna perform. But I do expect the Bloodletters being chipped away by enemy skirmish fire as they try to approach the Skaven formation. Night Runners are moving up and aiming down their shurikens. Are we gonna see some volleys flying in? It's not gonna be a good time here. Shots are going in and just getting peppered on the front here. Also a spell coming in. Not sure. Was that a Storm Demon? If that was, it doesn't do anything. It didn't do anything. Yeah, that was a Storm Demon. It just did nothing. I'll probably hit the walls or something. Because the Skaven slaves took a bunch of damage, probably from friendly fire. Very unfortunate for Skaven, but friendly fire from aiming mistake is definitely a very Skaven thing to do. Anyway, Storm Vermin's moving up to counteract the Screamers diving onto the Red Ogres. Plus, Karanak is also in the fight. Herald of Slaanesh, everything is just flooding in, trying to overload this flank. But knowing that they can't just beat down the Storm Vermin that fast, demons are starting to pull away, while Furies are diving those Slingers, quickly working them down, as the Slingers are just slaves. They don't really do much here. On the flanks there, Red Ogres being slaughtered by the Demon's mobility. Very effective use of the mobility there, but Karanak getting stuck in melee for too long. He needs to get out of there, and he needs to get out of there fast and go after a Kick Claw instead, and not stay in the melee against a bunch of Red Ogres and Storm Vermins. Furies now moving on to more Slingers and even jumping onto some Red Ogres. Bloodletters breaking through the Skaven Slave front line. though they have taken some noticeable damage from all the slings. On the far side, Furies are indeed being dragged down by the Storm Vermins, though the Screamers and Fleshhounds pull back just fine. Lost some HP, but nothing too devastating. A devastating spell, though, speaking of devastating, a Flancing Ruin upgraded version straight on the Herald of Slaanesh, covering multiple very important units here, Furies and the Fleshhounds. But no, actually, Fleshhounds managed to move out of the fight in time. Excuse me. Though unfortunately, Karanak moved into the area of effect of the Flancing Ruin, and he was taking damage as well. And Bloodlancers overall, they were trying hard to push back those Night Runners, but as they are trying to chase down enemy skirmishers, they themselves are exposed to enemy skirmish firepower and are slowly worn down by the sheer volume of firepower. More Furies are being destroyed and fading back into the warp, while Bloodlancers over here surrounding the Storm Vermins. They should be able to do fine on this trade. The problem is more on this side, where this very weakened Bloodlancers are just getting shot to death by a combination of Night Runners and more Night Runners, really. I was thinking Slingers probably could have turned around and shoot, but oh well, they're too busy shooting at the lightly armored Herald, which is also doing some good damage. Karanak is in the vicinity of a Kick Claw though, and is silencing him, preventing him from doing any damage. Prey of the Blood God is activated. That was illegal in this current tournament, but oh well, it's fine. Pavane of Slaanesh has been activated to keep a Kick Claw in the fight, but the Herald is getting absolutely murdered by a Kick Claw, getting bumper cart to death, and also Storm Vermins are in the vicinity. Let's just do some cinematic view here, as we have a lot of carnage. Skaven surrounding the Karanak and the Herald, and yeah, these two single entities are getting absolutely beaten up. On the far side there, Bloodlancers are over chasing for a bit there, now getting way too far to support this fight, and the Herald of Slaanesh getting caught in this fight was definitely a big issue. They were not, her and Karanak were not able to push through the Skaven infantry. They just don't have enough mass to push through all the Storm Vermins, and as a result, both of the single entities on the Demon side are dead, leaving only the mobility and some of... Wait, was that Ashen Triads? That is an Ashen Triads. How did I miss that? So yeah, Ashen Triads on the battlefield. But either ways, that doesn't really matter right now, since they are just gonna get charged by a bunch of Fleshhounds and take a bunch of charged impact damage. Another Flancing Ruin, this time on the Chaos Furies. I don't even know what's the point of it anymore. Probably the most cost-efficient unit to drop that Flancing Ruin on. And yeah, without the two characters, Demons are just not gonna be able to pull this one back, unable to kill off. They really have nothing to trap down and kill off a Kick Claw. Oh wait, no. Screamers might have a chance, but how are they supposed to kill the Storm Vermins? Maybe the Bloodlancers, but yeah, the Skaven simply have a lot more balance of power and more unit presence than the Demons at that point. Without the two characters providing ability support, that is going to be GG. Oh shit, I forgot to check the army performances. Ah well, next time. We'll move on to the next one now. Slaanesh versus Wood Elves on this one. Captain Tillas versus the Phoenix King. Alright, Slaanesh going with a front line of Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh, Chaos Warriors, Hell Scourge, 2 Lance Knights of Slaanesh, 2 Furies, 2 Fiends, and Azazel. While Phoenix King going for a Kite Army, 4 Wild Riders, 4 Glade Riders, 3 Swift Shiver Shards, Sisters of Avalon, and a Live Spell Singer. Interesting combo. That's a lot of mobility, but at the same time, that is going to be quite vulnerable to Slaanesh mobility, especially when there are the Lances Knights, who's going to trade very cost efficiently against Wild Riders. This is going to be rough. Anyways, Swift Shiver Shards opening fire at the Shielded Warriors, doing not much damage really. They need to shoot their fire their ammo at the Fiends of Slaanesh, but the Fiends of Slaanesh are very wisely keeping their distance away, while the Glade Riders, Wild Riders moving up, ready to screen enemy mobility, like pouncing onto the Fiends, pushing them back. But yeah, this is going to be rough for the Wood Elf forces. One of the Wild Riders, a mistake in the micro, I believe, missed their charge. They clicked on the landed next to the Chaos Warriors, and as a result, they didn't actually get the charge order, I believe. Oh no, Pavane coming in from Slaanesh. No, yep. luring one of the Deepwood Scouts into melee combat against the Chaos Knights, although a very nicely placed breath attack from the dragon of the Sisters of Outlaw, Sisters of Twilight. On the far side there, Chaos Warriors and the rest of the Slaanesh infantry pushing out, Furies diving on to Deepwood Scouts, and Wild Riders, Glade Riders all counter-charging, trying to save their missiles and away from the melee pressure. But one of them is too deep into a melee fight right now, although Wood Elves have a really quick finish on these Chaos Knights of Slaanesh. So a very nice micro from Phoenix King there, eliminating one very important mobility piece on the Slaanesh side, but the rest of the mobility and infantry are pouring in, and the Wood Elf mobility are suffering heavily at the hands of all these melee troops, as they are not exactly the best prolonged melee combat fighters. Azazel managed to catch the Spell Singer of Life out of position and just straight up terror routed her off. Damn, that was a quick terror rout. While the Wild Riders and Glade Riders all suffered heavy in the melee fight, Sisters of Twilight too busy fighting in the middle of a bunch of Hellscourge infantry, and they're stuck a little bit in melee fight. Now Wild Riders are charging back in, trying to go after the Chaos Knights, and they're gonna do some decent charge impact damage, though the armor of the Chaos Knights is gonna save them quite a bit. While the Spellsinger really needs to start pulling back fast. She does not want to get stuck in the middle of a bunch of devoted marauders, so she is backing off while the Phoenix King is trying to pull some psycho charging here. But oh no, Sisters of Twilight being hit by a rampage, the Pavane of Slaanesh, keeping her in the middle of a bunch of Hellscourge, but more importantly, Azazel is in here in melee, challenging the Sisters of Twilight to a melee fight, and the Sisters being distracted by surrounding supporting troops. She is not fighting back against Azazel for sure, while the Glade Riders, Wild Riders are all dumping themselves into melee, trying to save their lord and allowing them to extract themselves from the melee fight. As a result, the Sisters of Twilight will probably be able to pull out of this melee fight, but that is at a sacrifice at the cost of all these Wild Riders, Glade Riders, who are almost dead. And the Wood Elves are running low in terms of mobility. They still have a superior balance of power, but that lies a lot in their Deepwood Scouts. But once their Deepwood Scouts loses the protection from all the mobility, the Deepwood Scouts will have very limited effectiveness in this kind of a melee rush scenario. So it really comes down to whether Phoenix King can keep those mobility of life while screening away enemy marauders and Chaos Warriors. Though every time these Glade Riders, Wild Riders charge in, they suffer more damage as they are stuck in melee fights. Now there is only one unit of Wild Riders left on the field, and then there's still an untouched unit of Chaos Furies unactivated on the Slaanesh side, probably forgotten by Captain Tillis. But yeah, right now they could pounce on these Deepwood Scouts anytime, but of course there are still some mobility nearby, so they don't really want to just jump in and support it. Perhaps they can just jump onto these Deepwood Scouts, although these Deepwood Scouts are running a little bit slightly in the wrong direction, being caught in melee against these Chaos Warriors, and yeah, they're taking more and more damage in melee. Oh no, another Pavane on the Sisters of Twilight. She's trying to dive down into the surround of the Glade Riders, but no, she was not diving down, and time stuck in the sky is now surrounded by AP entities. Both the Chaos Furies and Azazel can do some really nice AP damage in this kind of fighting scenario, and Sisters of Twilight is quickly eliminated. Do they have the burst heal? They do not. So there goes the Lord of the Wood Elves, straight up being shattered as they are discouraged by the Demon Blade of Azazel. The discourage effect is indeed quite lethal in the late game scenario when the additional -16 leadership can force enemy to rout earlier or straight up shattering them earlier. So very nicely done with Azazel and his abilities and items, and now it is pretty much just tattered Wild Riders and Deepwood Scouts in the fight. Swift Shiver Sharks can still fire, but what can they do to finish off Azazel? I don't see how they can finish off this Slaanesh Lord. If Azazel loses enough HP in the fight and is weak enough that a few volleys of Deepwood Scouts fire can finish him, maybe Wood Elves still stand a chance, but as of right now, the leadership debuff that caused by the death of their lord means that these Wood Elves are a lot less sturdy in melee, And not that they're anything sturdy anyways, and they're just more prone to routing, more prone to shattering. And then there's also Azazel roaming the battlefield, dragging them into melee fights and preventing them from using their ammo. That is going to be quite rough indeed. And yeah, there's still a lot of shielded infantry as well, so yeah, things are quite rough for the Wood Elves. It's not completely out of reach just yet for the Wood Elves, but it's definitely an uphill battle from here on. There's still especially a Chaos Fury of Slaanesh, full health on the far side, and now Wood Elves are forced to just kite away, and Slaanesh can just push up with their shields up, using those bronze shields to absorb enemy missiles and block up enemy skirmish firepower. And just like that, especially these Hellscourge warriors have plenty of armor to tank enemy shots. Silver shields, heavy armor, they can just absorb all these swift shiver shots without taking much dent in their HP bar. Wild Riders jumping into melee combat as they are rampaged by a Pavane very nicely placed by Azazel, and straight up routing them once more. And yeah, that means there's only Wood Elves with swift shiver shots and a tattered unit of Glade Rider on the field. Slaanesh Furies once again go back into chasing off the routed, delegated to chasing off the routed duty. Earthblood healing back up some of these Wood Elf troops, try to give them a bit more HP, but we can do some fast forward here as the Swift Shiver Shards are running out of ammo and running out of steam. And that shall be a Slaanesh victory, as the Wood Elves know that they will eventually unable to pull this game back when they use up all their ammo shooting at shielded infantry. And yeah, a lot of damage value from the Swift Shiver Shards, and very nicely done with the Cycle Charging from the Wood Elves with the mobility. The Phoenix King definitely done his best to try out this kiting build, but unfortunately, Lances, Chaos Knights just trade a little too well in melee, and also Fiends of Slaanesh are just too good here. Wood Elves, even after those melee cavalry buff, is still not enough to take on these Fiends of Slaanesh in a melee rush fight. Maybe perhaps Zoltz can take this fight, but I don't know. I would try Zoltz in this kind of scenario, but I don't know. Zoltz plus actually, why don't you think about it? Triple Zoltz plus mate. Yeah, Nargos player, don't worry about it, dude. Like, real life priorities always goes first, dude. Anyways, yeah, let's look at the rest of the army performances. Yeah, not much really, actually. Azazel did really well, sniping out the Sisters of Twilight there, and also did some decent damage to the Spellsinger, forcing her to pull back. And Wild Riders as well took a bunch of damage from both the Fiends and Azazel. So yeah, the Wood Elf mobility is strong, but they are just a little bit too fragile. I mean, this is... Don't worry about it, man. Like, this is a recurring event I'm planning to host more in the future after all. So, like, the tournament's gonna be there. Although I'm probably not gonna host a Faction War next week. I'm gonna host another event. And then I'll host, after that it will be a Faction Wars, and then after that it's gonna be a week break, and then we're back after that. So yeah. Yeah, it's how do I put it? How do I put it? I would say Wood Elves are probably better off going melee rush in most of the scenarios. Because everyone expects you to kite, and they're just gonna design their army accordingly, build a melee rush to rush down your kite build. But if you counter the counter kite build with an unexpected melee rush build, then you might actually be able to plan 3 steps ahead of your opponent and counter their counter. But well. Like, which is why I usually just go melee rush with Wood Elf, since nobody expects a Wood Elf melee rush. Anyways, Caradoc this time, Archangel as Chaos Dwarfs versus Caradoc's Dark Elves. Let's hop in and see what happens here. As Archangel going for an interesting Chaos Dwarf kite army. Okay, there's 4 units of Goblin Wolf Raider archers. Hobgoblin Wolf Raider archers, 5 laborers, orc laborers, 3 Bull Center renders. One of them, the Hashut's Dark Ravagers, the Regiment of Renown high AP damage missile one. And then in the skies we have 1 Sorcerer Prophet of Death with Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna, supported by Infernal Castellan. Double Infernal Castellan build. Interesting. On the other side, we have the Dark Elves. A bit of a Shade Kiting Forces and Bloodwreck Medusa. Front line of Bleak Sword, Sky in the sky, a single Crows of Cain, Witch Elves on the flanks, Cult One Knights, and Dark Riders. Same goes for the other end. Cult One Knights and Dark Riders and Witch Elves. Witch Elves are being used as a semi-mobility, just gonna be a flanking force. And Marathi leading the army with Wand of Caradon and Soul Stealers, Melkovs. Power of Darkness, 3 spells, 1 bound ability, and yeah, that's it for the army builds. Now, what is the Sorcerer Prophet of Death with, of course, Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna. But yeah, of course, with the Chalice of Dark Implosion, Chalice of Blood and Darkness. Every time Dark Elf cast spells, the Sorcerer Prophet will receive heal. So it might be worth it to be a bit riskier for the Sorcerer Prophet of Death to just move out and attack enemies, so that they can actually utilize the healing. But right now, it looks like it's gonna be a slow advancing phase. We'll do a bit of fast forward here as both armies are marching forward. Karadok is holding his position, knowing that he does have the Shade's range advantage. And also the Bloodwreck Medusa. Wait, where's the Bloodwreck Medusa? Oh yeah, on the flank there, shooting away, chipped away some health on the Hashut's Dark Ravagers. Although the Bloodwreck Medusa has taken some counter damage from the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, Shades shooting at the Sorcerer Prophet of Death, driving him back, while the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders archers are peppering down the Crows of Cain as a bit of a skirmishing force. Shades firing at the Bull Center Enders and the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders with bows, so doing some okay damage. And the Bull Center Enders are forced to pull back here. They do not want to stay in the fight for too long, or stay in the range of these Shades for too long, as their missiles are quite deadly indeed. Infernal Castellan moving up and trying to poke some shots at Marathi. But Marathi is juking after taking some minor damage, successfully evading all that firepower. And on the far side, Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders are peppering down the Witch Elves. Hashut's Dark Ravagers also moving up, but will be juking some shots from the Shades. Orc Laborers are moving into the front line, but most certainly they will lose to the Bleak Swords in melee. So yeah, the Chaos Dwarfs definitely need to figure out something to start breaking through the enemy infantry front line and get some better trades instead of just do some plain skirmishing. Although the plain skirmishing is working out quite fine, whittling down the Dark Riders and some of these Witch Elves. Infernal Castellan are standing in the middle here, just shooting at Marathi, who has stopped a bit with her juking, allowing the Infernal Castellan to do a bit more damage firing at the Dark Elf Lord. But their damage is slow and steady, so it's not going to take down Marathi anytime soon. They really need to start breaking through in other sections of the battlefield, as the Dark Elves are pushing, and they do have that melee advantage here, especially if the Bloodwreck Medusa jumps into melee. Seems like the Bloodwreck Medusa, though, firing through like a little slope here, and it's the firing arc is not great, just landing a bunch of shots on the ground. On the far side there, Crows of Cain managed to dive onto some Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders with bows, and the Dark Riders catching those skirmishing cavalry as well. A Wand of Caradon blasting the Bull Center Enders, and they're now down to less than half health, taking a lot of damage from the enemy firepower and the Wand of Caradon. Like, how much damage does Marathi have? Minor damage, but yeah, the Bull Center Enders have been dragged down quite a bit, while the Orc Laborers are just not holding in front of all those Bleak Swords. It's a mass collapse of the Chaos Dwarf front line. Something needs to be done to stop this bleed. But yeah, once again, Bull Center Enders being dragged into melee, this time surrounded by Witch Elves and Core Knights. Witch Elves might not have the best anti-large. They don't have their anti-infantry after all, but they still have good weapon strength, frenzy, and a good charge bonus. And on top of that, being buffed by the Murderous Prowess. That's a massive damage spike for the Dark Elves, and they're just clawing through. They're just cleaving apart all these Chaos Dwarf forces left, right, and center. Bull Center Renders collapsing. Hashut's Dark Ravagers also cleaved, clean up by the Khorne Knights. And in the skies, the Sorcerer Prophet of Death was stuck in a melee fight against Morathi, which is an anti-large combatant, and shot by Bloodwreck Medusa and Shades. Bloodwreck Medusa are now going after Inferno Castellan, going for a firefight, but the rest of the battle is just in favor of Dark Elves. All the Chaos Dwarf units are collapsing. Only minor pockets of resistance still remains. These Bull Santaranders are surrounded by Bleak Swords and Witch Elves, just overwhelmed by sheer numbers. And yeah, no more Bull Santaranders are in the fight anymore. Inferno Castellan getting stuck in melee, while Morathi actually getting beaten up by that Spirit Leech and melee combo of the Sorcerer Prophet of Death. Another Spirit Leech should kill Morathi, though at this point it doesn't really matter that much, as Army Loss is hit for the Chaos Dwarfs, and that shall be it for the Chaos Dwarfs. And Dark Elves secured victory here. Castellans might be an okay unit if they weren't completely incapable of firing over friendly units unless the unit target is flying. They actually are also decent against Bloodwreck Medusa, and there are not any good targets for the Bloodwreck Medusa anyways, and she just have trouble hitting anything, honestly. But overall, the Witch Elves just cut down a ton of those chaff, and the Shades is a nice touch for sure. The AP fire just shoot up the Sorcerer Prophet of Death, and also did some really good damage against the Blue Center Renders. And the Blue Center Renders surprisingly fragile when surrounded by Witch Elves, Khorne Knights, and Bleak Swords, so they were not able to hold in melee for too long and just quickly broken up after their support is gone. And yeah, Khorne Knights did some really good damage overall with their anti-large bonus, I believe. So yeah, pretty good performance from those Shades and Bleak Swords. Yeah, we've seen that. Well, let me just quickly watch again and see how the Bull Center Renders died. Like, the ones in the front line seem to die a little bit fast. Okay, so yeah, Bull Center Renders, they only have 50 armor, so, and no missile block chance, 15%, 25% missile resistance, but they do have a large hitbox, so it's relatively easy to shoot them up. Yeah, Shades kind of just screening away and just holding back, slowly peppering the Hobgoblin with Raiders, and the Bull Center Renders are being rather cautious at the beginning. Don't really want to stand in front of those Shades and get shot at, but once the Bleak Swords start fighting in melee, the Bull Center Renders needs to countercharge and try to push back enemy melee, because those Orc Laborers are gonna quickly get... Oh yeah, it's the Shades. It's the Shades absolutely murdering those Bull Center Renders in melee fight. Oh, with their firepower, not melee fight, firepower. But yeah. Oh, there was a Fate of Buna on one of the Shades. I missed that, actually. Though it doesn't really matter, because Fate of Buna spreads the damage across the entire unit. And it does HP damage, and it doesn't really kill models. So the Shades still have, like, full damage output at that point, right? And yeah. The Shades' firepower really did a number on those Bull Center Renders. And Hashut's Dark Ravagers surrounded by Shades, Khorne Knights, and beaten back by the Bloodwreck Medusa ult. They just kind of get overwhelmed overall. So, yeah. Interesting. It's an interesting Chaos Dwarf build with the double Castellan, but just like all Chaos Dwarf build, they suffer from being too narrow. Their stuff is just way too expensive. Especially when you have 3 Bull Center Renders, one of them the Regiment of Renown, 2 of them Great Weapons. As a result, you can only afford like Orc Laborer frontline, which does nothing. They just crumbles from Bleak Swords and anything really. Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders with bows was an interesting build, but yeah, not a lot of good targets to counter skirmish with these guys. Like, they showed up the light targets, like the Dark Riders and the Crows of Cain, but that's basically it. I mean, they did some pretty good damage, but they still cost way too much for their performance. They're kind of just like they're pretty much just a goblin skirmish cav. How much more damage did I do? I wonder. Okay, Chaos Dwarf, Hobgoblin skirmish cav, 600 gold versus green skins. Alright, we clicked that. Okay, they have a little bit more range. 30 more range, 3 more missile strength, bit more ammo, bit more stats, but overall I don't say it's worth the 200 gold increase. Like maybe 100 or maybe 100 gold more than the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, maybe that would be worth it. Like, it's just too expensive for what they do. My god, they suck. They suck. They absolutely suck. Mistake on using the renders there as well. Yeah. That definitely was a thing. Renders got thrown into melee combat, but I don't know. Like, what else can the renders do? They have to pick a fight, right? They have to go fight somewhere, and once they go fight somewhere, the narrow build of the Chaos Dwarf means that they don't have resources left to respond to the responses of Dark Elf. So, like, the front line, they can't just leave those they can't just leave those laborers to die. Yeah, they can't just leave them there to let those laborers die. Because once those laborers die, then it is pretty much just a mobility, and they just don't have, like, they can't really fight without support. Take maybe one bull center render at most. Mistake on using their renders. Yeah, shootable centers are better against Dark Elf. They have tons of missiles, but not much MD on their large units, so the anti-large is overkill. Yeah, definitely. The shield would be a nice touch to block enemy missiles, but I don't know, like, I feel like it's just gonna be rough for Chaos Dwarfs, as they are a pretty rough faction to play with overall. Maybe it's still gonna be like, maybe 2 Bull Center renders, cut the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, get a ton more Goblin Laborers, and then 2 Death Shrieker rocket launchers, and just blast single entities and ranged units with those rockets. I'm not even sure I would take the RR renders here. I definitely would not take them here. There's no good targets to fight them against. Like, what are they gonna shoot at? The Soul Stealer caster. And in this case, Morathi, it's gonna be even more rough for them. Yeah, Sorcerer Profile of Death, not doing too hot over the course of battle. He did kill Morathi in the melee fight, so that was a very commendable feat. But yeah, unfortunately, Chaos Dwarf is just in a really rough place right now. Most of their units are overpriced except the laborers, but the laborers are still shit. So they have a cheap infantry. They have an expensive infantry. Like, they have cheap but shit infantry, and they have expensive infantry that are good. And then in the middle section, there's a bunch of overpriced mid-tier stuff, like the Cutthroats, the Sneaky Gits, the Chaos Dwarf Warriors. They're all overpriced as shit. So, like, what can you do with those? You can't really do much. Like, you can't even buy enough of those units to protect your backline just because they're too overpriced and you just don't have enough funds for buying stuff you need. Melee Wolf Raider seems like a better pick. You just want to suicide rush into Shades and Crossbow Raiders to prevent kite. Rest isn't scary for trained Inferno Guard and whatnot. The thing is, I don't know if Wolf Raiders is a good choice here, since they're perfectly countered by Dark Riders and Koan Cavalry, but yeah. Definitely needs those, other than... I'd still say an artillery box is a better way to go. Just because all your mid-tier troops, as the Chaos Dwarf, is so expensive. Like 600 gold for a goddamn Wolf Raider skirmisher with only 40 leadership, shit melee stats, and yeah, like, in contrast, when we look at stuff like High Elf skirmisher, right? Illyrian Weaver Archers, 600 gold. Chaos Dwarfs. More melee stats, more range, way more leadership. Way more leadership. At the same price, by the way. The only thing they lack is flaming attacks. Like, Illyrian Weaver Archers at 600 gold, the same price point, is way better than Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders with bows in every single aspect. Every single aspect. Like, it's not even close. It's not even close. 12 more melee attack, 4 more melee defense, 4 more weapon strength. Weapon strength is important, but way more melee stats. More range. Missile strength is the same, but more range and more melee stats is just pure Illyrian Weaver victory. And 24 more leadership. And don't forget about the most important thing of all. These guys have martial prowess, making them significantly better in melee. It's so bad. The Hobgoblin Wolf Raider Archers are so bad. They suck ass. Absolutely hate those guys. I don't play Chaos Dwarf that much, but whenever I do, I just don't use them. They just suck ass. Like, why would you even use them? Why would you even use them? There's no point. Oh man, they suck ass. Artillery box can't deal with shade if you have enough screening troops and on top of the rocket launchers raining scattered shots onto the shades. Maybe. It's a maybe though, so. But yeah, Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders might be better in this regard in countering shades. But let's compare it to goblins. 225 more gold for 4 more attack, 4 more defense, 4 more weapon strength, and 20 more charge bonus. 1 more leadership, 20 more armor. Yeah, it's not worth it, boys. It's not worth it. All the Hobgoblin units are not worth it. They suck. They absolutely suck ass. Man, Chaos Dwarf sucks. And they are a relatively new faction as well. I guess they have this cowardly despoilers, providing a bit more base weapon damage. Still sucks though. Kislev Horse Archers are 50 cheaper and 20 more leadership. Yeah. Okay, how do we compare? How do you compare this? Kislev. Horse Archers. 50 gold cheaper. Once again, more 50 gold cheaper, 20 more leadership, 8 more attack, 6 more defense, 4 more weapon strength, 10 more charge bonus. Ammo count doesn't really matter. You can't really use up all the ammo usually. 10 more range. Sucks. They suck. They pay for passive that, oh man, the passives are so bad. 25 base weapon damage for rear and flank attacks, and 8 more leadership when unit with contempt is in range. Oh wait, no, wait, hold on, they're mobility, right? So they're not usually around units with contempt, or at least not around infantry with contempt. And I guess the lords have contempt, but what else have contempt? Oh wait, no, these Centauranders have contempt. Yeah, both Centauranders have contempt, but yeah, but usually they're skirmishing cavalry and they just kind of act independently and they don't really go into melee. So yeah, these abilities, these passives are absolutely wasted on them. Man, they suck so much. I feel like 500 gold is still overpriced for them at this point. Maybe 450 makes more sense. My god. Hobgoblin Wolf Raider Archer sucks so bad. Alright, anyways, we played this, so we don't really need to... Wait, what? Oh, we've seen this? Have we seen this? Hey, oh, wait, no, we haven't seen this. Okay. We've seen this, though, so yeah, we're gonna... Wait, hold on. Captain Tillis. Is there another replay from Captain Tillis? Let me just check. Slaanesh versus what else? We've seen that, so... Yeah, I think that is gonna be... That is gonna be the last replay for the day. Hayseed's Norscans versus Caradox Dark Elves, which we missed out earlier, unfortunately. Slaanesh versus Skaven, yeah, we've seen that. Norsca versus Count, we've seen that. Dark Elves. Slaanesh versus Scallies? Oh, Vecchia versus Scalies. Scaly boys. Alright, cool. Yeah, we've seen everything. So let us pause now. This is gonna be the last battle of today's stream. Between two players, Hayseed as the Norscans and Caradox as the Dark Elves. All Chaos Dwarf. What's the point of giving them a weapon strength increase in melee if they can't hit anything with 18 melee attack? Well, if they're hitting from rear and flank, they will have a little bit more melee attack hit chance, I suppose. All Chaos Dwarfs like Dwarf units have Contempt, but it only gives +8 leadership, which makes Hobgoblins inferior to Skaven, even though they generally cost more. Yeah, absolutely. Like, Hobgoblins just suck ass many times over. Man. Anyways. Just gonna make a mental note of never using any Hobgoblin units ever again. Until CA does something about it. Anyways, for the army build, final battle, Norscan versus Dark Elves. For Norskins, a front line of Marauders, with the Iceholm Marauders for the immune to psychology, a couple throwing javelins, and then a bunch of mobility, Ice Wolves, Beast of Tashnar, and some armored Skin Wolves. I don't know, armored Skin Wolves is a good option here, because you'll be fighting a bunch of Khorne Riders, which has armor piercing anyway, so might as well just save the money on the armor and bring something else, spend more money on other stuff. Anyways, leadership, we have Wolfric the Wanderer with his full toolkit on horseback. Sword of Torgold, Hunter of Champions, Fight or Die, Lore of Boats, and Vimir Balefiend with the Flaming Sword Synergy, Cascading Fire Cloak, and Burning Head. In the skies, Cold Voider, interesting pick indeed, with the Chill Aura, making surrounding units slower. Now for the Dark Elves, a skirmishing force of Black Corsairs, front line of Bleak Swords, more Bleak Swords, and mobility-wise, a bunch of Khorne Knights and some terror-causing Feral Manticore. Excuse me. There's also some Dark Riders, and that's it for the army builds. Magic-wise, there's only Soul Stealer and Doom and Darkness for Morathi. Oh, Doom and Darkness. I can see where this is going. Doom and Darkness for the leadership reduction and Feral Manticore for the terror. So it is going to be a terror bombing build against the Norskins, who doesn't have the best leadership. They don't have bad leadership, but the leadership also isn't best either. Marauder Champions, though, they are going to be quite sturdy. They're not immune to psychology, but they can still hold for quite long. And yeah, let us just see how these battles clash. Black Corsairs do not want to shoot at the Marauders or Marauder Champions, since most of their damage, missiles damage, would not be too cost efficient. They would want to get closer to shoot at those, shoot at those Ice Wolves and shoot at the Marauder Hunters with Javis. Oh, I see why the Skin Wolves have armor. Their armor would stack nicely with the physical resistance to counteract the enemy's skirmishing firepower. Wolfric moving up. Oh no, this is bad. He does not have any healing, unlike Throg, so he does not want to receive any unnecessary damage. Taking shots from Black Corsairs aren't great as well, so yeah, he will have to fall back while leaving the Marauders to push up. Very nice catch with the Skin Wolves there, running through some of the Black Corsairs, but that also exposes them to a counter charge from the Khorne Knights, and they're gonna get stuck in a melee fight. No, they're gonna pull out screen through their Marauder infantry while the rest of the Marauder charges in. Bleak Swords intercepting the incoming Marauders. Cold Voider moving up, try to catch up to Morathi, but Morathi very wisely moving away, staying away from the Cold Voider, allowing the skirmishers to do some chip damage. Actually, Morathi is going back in for a melee fight, taking a huge hit from the Cold Voider. Though on the front line there, the Feral Manticores are dropping into those Marauders, doing a little bit of dive bombing on the far side. Beast of Tashnar caught those Dark Riders, and their anti-large bonus just shred those Dark Riders in melee. Cold Voider, unfortunately, though, being caught in melee by two monstrous entities and Morathi herself. Oh, taking a lot of damage in this fight. He doesn't have the best armor, only at 70, so the massive weapon strength of the Manticores and the Black Corsairs are gonna put a heavy toll onto the Cold Voider. Also a bit of a Soul Stealer keeping morality healthy, and then the double Feral Manticore plus the Black Corsair firepower is more than enough to work down the Cold Voider. A massive loss for the Norskins, though their frontline have managed to be quite successful in pushing back Cold Knights, and the Bleak Swords Cold Knights probably got stuck in melee and get shot by javelins for too much. But now here comes the Black Corsairs moving in to shoot at the Marauder Hunters with Javis on the mobility side. Beast of Tashna and the Skin Wolves chased off the Dark Riders with no issue at all, while Skin Wolves are stuck in a fight against Cold One Knights, eating a bit of Doom and Darkness. And if there's a rear charge from the Feral Manticore, this would be huge. Still having almost half a minute left on the Doom and Darkness, receiving a rear charge, and then on top of that, the terror from the Feral Manticores are coming in. 18 more seconds, and the Feral Manticore would be dive bombing them with the Terror Bomb, and the Skin Wolves will be terror routed and turned into a normal route with the leadership debuff. Minus 18 leadership, actually, with the Arcane Conduit, Greater Arcane Conduit providing additional spell mastery, so even more leadership reduction, and as a result, the Skin Wolves are being routed away. And the Cold Knights are guaranteeing that they're not coming back, shattering them straight up. And yeah, a massive loss for the Norskins for sure, as their Skin Wolves were originally very much healthy, but then they just straight up lost that unit. And now the back line is in a bit of trouble for Norskins, as they do not have the melee troops to protect the javelins. The Skin Wolves and Beast of Tarshan are a bit out of position on the other side, trying to chase off the Dark Riders and then being caught in melee combat by Cold Knights and shot by the Black Corsairs. So the javelins have been picked off as they are silenced in melee combat, and the familiar Bale Fiend pushing up a little bit ahead of himself, surrounded by Cold Knights now being countercharged by a bunch of mobility. Cold Voider coming back, haven't used a single breath attack. That was a pretty painful loss as well. They could have done a lot more damage with the breath attack, but alas, at this point, things are not looking too hot for the Norscan army. Cold Voider being caught out in melee combat like that was definitely a big loss, and not using any of the breath attack, also a big loss as well. Lord of Bolt Seafang did some minor damage in the front line, I believe, but I don't think that I don't think that one leftover Seafang cast is gonna do anything in this situation. Most of the units left are either single entities or mobility, and the 2 units of infantry left are it's pretty damn sure that the player Caradoc here will be on top of his micro to dodge those Seafang. So yeah, as we have seen in the finals where he kited Nurgle's PA, Caradoc does have a very usually stay on top of his micro for sure, and was able to exploit the enemy mistakes pretty well. And yeah, with only infantry left and Wolfric taking more and more damage, army losses hit for the Norskins, and that shall be the end of today's streams and battles. The Skin Wolves did some minor damage. Unfortunately, one of them getting routed way too early. Javelins did okay damage, but once the Marauder pushed up and left the protection of the Marauder Hunters, the Cold Knights are free to just drive them back. But yeah, very nice spell combo and from Dark Elves here. The double Feral Manticore plus the Doom and Darkness. And the single entity spam was more than enough to finish off the Cold Voider, which is a very painful loss for the Norscan army, not using the breath attack as well. But yeah, overall, GG. Wait, where was the... Black Corsairs did some okay damage, but the Cold Knights definitely traded well into this battle here, especially when they can just chase off Skin Wolves for free after routing them off with Terror and Doom and Darkness. Actually, I need to check something. I forgot to check spell casting in Lore of Bolts. I don't think I pay attention to the spell casting in this battle. Oh wait, no, not this one. We've seen this one, but we're not looking at this one. I don't think I pay attention to the Norscan spell casting. I just need to have a look at what they did with the spells, and then we are done for the night. All right. Let's just quickly check. what the hell did the Norscan spend their magic on? I saw Morathi casting Soul Stealer, but yeah, I don't see much magic from Norscan's side. I guess he can Burning Head. You can probably Burning Head some of these infantry, but yeah. Anyways, this flank was going on pretty well at the start for Norsca, but Covoider got caught out. Was that the Lore of Boats in the middle of the fight? Has he cast Lore of Boats already? Nope, still 3 uses. And a bit of Burning Head on the front line, which is nice, I guess, but yeah. I would probably cast it over... No, that would be Friendly Fire, actually. That would be a nice boat cast, if anything. Wait, where was the boat? Oh, there we go. There we go. The boat here. Yeah, exactly. What happened? Killed a bunch of... Oh, that's why the Marauder push was so fine. It's a Burning Head and boat cast. But the problem is, Caradoc is was just quite on top of his kiting. And the Marauder push was successful, but at the same time, because they move up, they left the javelins relatively unprotected. It's like was it the Battle of Hastings? It's like Battle of Hastings. No, the Battle of Hastings was the Roman versus. Oh no, yeah, it's Battle of Hastings, because the shield wall got broken, I think. Yeah, the shield wall got broken as they chase as they move up to chase the retreating enemies. The Dark Elves were able to lead a counterattack with the mobility. Yeah, it's literally like the Battle of Hastings. Enemy retreat, the infantry push up, and the formation broke apart, and then the enemy mobility just charged. The cavalry just charged back in and finish off the broken apart formation of the infantry. Yeah. That's pretty much what happened there. Yeah. So yeah, as a result, the Norscan infantry got broken apart. It's kind of thematic, actually. We have the Norscans, which is kind of like the Normans. A little bit more brutish, but yeah. That is going to be GG. And yeah, that is gonna be the end of today's stream. I hope you all enjoy this little bit of midweek faction wars, Wednesday faction wars. I'll be hosting a little bit more multiplayer tournament next week. The next one is probably gonna be a themed one where we are trying out conquest mode without infantry, or without melee infantry at least. So yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of mobility, I believe. But we shall see what happens here. And monsters and kite builds. We shall see what happens here as we'll be doing the conquest mode. So, and we'll be using 500 tickets. So regular kite builds, the really drawn out kite builds, will be less viable. Nice historical comparison. Thank you. But yeah. We'll be trying out conquest mode tournament next week, hopefully. But other than that, that should be the end of today's content. I hope you all enjoy these multiplayer battles, and if you want to see more Total War Warhammer multiplayer content, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to join in the fight yourself, be sure to join the Nightcrew Clan Discord or my Discord. I will be hosting battles here. On my own Discord or Nightcrew Clan Discord, depending on the tournament. But for now, that is gonna be the end of today's stream. Thank you very much for showing up, and I hope you had fun playing or watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Lich signing out.